One of my New Year's resolutions was to read more books, and it is currently February 22nd, and I have finished 5 books as of yesterday. I'm a little bit behind because my goal is 52 this year, but I do believe that I'll be able to catch up. And I just want to do a rapid fire of the 5 books I've read and whether or not I read them again. First book I read was 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl, and it is by Mona Awad. And the reason why I decided to read it is because she called Mrs. Saga Misery Saga, and I just thought that was so funny. Within the first couple of pages, it does have a little bit of like dry humor, and if you are really sensitive to like fat phobia and stuff like that, then you don't want to read the book. I could read it again. I think I rated it 3.08 out of 5. The next book that I read was The Lamb by Lucy Rose. And it is a book about a mother and daughter who are literal cannibals. Like they eat human beings. You find that out within chapter 1 or 2. So I did not spoil anything for you. I don't know if I'd read this again. I rated it 2.75 out of 5. The next book that I read was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I have never read the book before, and I'm currently watching the movie for the second time. Oh my goodness, like this book literally had me like at the edge of my seat. The only thing that I really didn't like was the book was so good and the ending was just so flat. She put so much time, energy, and detail into the entire book, and then by the time we got to the end, nothing. So I rated it 4.5 out of 5, and I definitely want to read again this year actually and like see what I missed. Like even just rereading like the first chapter, knowing what happened in the middle of the end, there's just so much connections. She put so much time, detail, and effort into the first 3 quarters of the book, and then the last bit of the book, it just felt so flat. The next book that I read was called My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeny, and I gave it 3.75 out of 5. There were a couple of plot twists here and there, things that I personally didn't expect. Like there are some things that like from chapter 1, I was like, oh yeah, I know this is what's going to happen. Again, they put a lot of like detail and effort. I think one of the reasons why I rated this so low is because I had just read Gone Girl, and Gone Girl tells the story from the perspective of both the husband and the wife, and My Husband's Wife tells the story from different people's perspective. And compared to Gone Girl, where you can actually tell that you are reading the book from another person's like point of view, the things that they notice, the details that they pay attention to are all so apparent and like relevant to that character. In My Husband's Wife, even though it would start off a new chapter with like this person A's perspective or person B's perspective or whatever, it was so obvious that it was all being narrated by the exact same person. Every single character paid attention to the exact same details. There was no difference in writing style, in cadence, in like sentence length, in like the details that they noted. Like it was just all the exact same. And so it just felt fake. Like everybody doesn't see things from the same point of view, and Gone Girl did a really good job of differentiating what someone would and wouldn't notice based on the personalities and characteristics of those characters. And My Husband's Wife could not do that. It was just very clearly all written by the exact same person. So that's one of the reasons why I rated it as low as I had. If I had read it in the opposite order, I'd read My Husband's Wife first and Gone Girl second, I would have rated both of them higher. But because I read in that order, that's the rating that I gave them. And the last book that I just finished yesterday is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I thought this was an okay book. I haven't rated it yet, but I probably would rate it like 3.5 out of 5. Last year in December, I read The Time Traveler's Wife. So it had talked specifically about time traveling. And this one, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, has a little bit of the element of time traveling. It is so repetitive. Whoever helped this person to translate the book, it's like English is their fifth language and they have not mastered it. So a lot of the writing style, the cadence, it just was very clunky. It wasn't proper English as like someone who speaks English as a first language. And that's not the author's fault. That's whoever helped him to translate the book. That is the fault of that person. So because of that, I wouldn't rate it that high. Again, the only other reason why I read it is because I do have it in Spanish and I want to read it in Spanish. And so be able to like compare the words and compare the sentences and see what was going on without needing like specifically a dictionary, because I can just click on the other book, the English version. So that's one of the reasons why I read it. I have not yet read it in Spanish, but I am going to. Books that I did not finish but will definitely go back to. I started the 5 a.m. club and I didn't finish. We'll have to go back to it. I got to chapter 4 of Why We Sleep. It is so interesting. That man is dragging me left, right, and center because I have not prioritized my sleep for a really long time. It's just so cool, so informative, and definitely will finish. The other book, 100 Years of Solitude, is something that I have to finish as well. So I did start those books and I have not finished them. And the other one is My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I have not finished that one either. I'm going to read Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I'm also going to read The Inflammation Syndrome. There's a couple other books that I'm going to read. But yeah, these are the 5 books that I've read. These are 6 books that I'm going to read. And yeah.